All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to True Correct Loser. I hope you're doing well. So, folks, today we're going to talk about old Diana Lovejoy. Anybody that's hardcore YouTube has ended up on her clip at some point. She tried to pay the crappiest hitman in the world to kill her husband. What little plan they came up with went awful, and upon hearing her guilty verdict, Diana blows a gasket, starts drooping real bad to the right. It's like, where are you going, Diana? At a certain point, she completely fishes out, hits her head on the desk with a thud. Then they pick her up. She's got this hilarious look on her face that becomes a meme. And as far as I can find, the footage of Lovejoy blowing a gasket is the most viewed courtroom footage of any kind on all of YouTube. Also, her hitman, the chunks of his interrogation are hilarious. We're going to go over everything, but first, I want to give a big thanks to today's sponsor. Couldn't be happier to be in business with them, Roth's Pretzels. It's a small business out of Colorado where a guy named Sean Roth decided to take his family's truly remarkable pretzel recipe to the next level, start a business. They're killing it. They got a bunch of flavors ranging from not spicy to really spicy, all rated on a scale out of 5 peppers. This one's out of 3, so it's pretty spicy. Go to their website, check out the flavors, get yourself some. You won't regret it. It's rothspretzels.com/TCL, and they're giving all of us 20% off with the coupon code SCHMIEDA. rothspretzels.com/TCL. Have a ball. All right. So, there's something ironic about Diana Lovejoy having the top views of a YouTube category because she wanted to be a YouTuber. Years ago, she started a cooking show where the whole shtick of it was quick meals. She was all about fast meals. Are you short on time? Fast meals. It's like, maybe slow down a little bit, marinate something, throw something in the oven, all right? Why are you always doing fast meals, Diana? But anyway, not the worst idea, right? People want fast meals, but Diana had zero talent or charisma. One of the comments on a clip of her cooking show is that she has the personality of an old radish. Thought that was pretty good, but she's stiff as a board and the lighting is terrible. You got to have good lighting on a cooking show because you got to be able to see the food. It's got to look appetizing. So she's in her dim kitchen, stiff as a board, and in maybe one of the most bizarre choices I can think of as far as trying to get like a YouTube thing going, she decided to have the whole script of her cooking show rhyme. She just thought that like an elementary school style poem, that like very predictable nursery rhyme style rhyming would be. Imagine being like, yeah, this YouTube channel is great. I've been learning all these quick meals, with the kids. It's nice to have a quick meal YouTube channel to learn up on. And, something I really like about it, the woman rhymes everything. I can't imagine anyone ever saying that. So she's, like I said, stiff as a board, zero personality. And one of my favorites is she goes, "This is my kitchen." And she shows, "This is my kitchen where I love to cook, but I'm often short on time." And she touches her watch for dramatic effect. "But I'm often short on time, so quick meals are the hook." And I start wincing and cringing so bad, even like watching her for 20 seconds, that I had to turn it off. But she got her wish. She is YouTube famous. It's her flopping around like a dead fish. But hey, folks, it's something. That's something. So, first, let's go over their plan. Their plan to get rid of her husband. It's staggeringly bad on so many different levels. So, the whole thing, I think, kicked off when they're in a divorce. Diana and her husband Gary, they're in a horrible divorce. They had tried really hard to conceive a kid, and then once they did conceive the kid, their love fizzled, and they're in this brutal divorce. The judge handling their divorce decides that it's going to be equal. Sounds all right. It's going to be equal, but Diana's staying in the house, so she's got to pay his half of the house, which is $120,000. And then the judge said, you guys are going to split custody of the kids. And it sounds like Diana just lost it, just flew off the handle, life-ruining she really just blew it. So in this state of rage, I guess Diana figures, okay, I'm going to kill my husband. So that's nothing suspicious about that. A judge goes, you have 3 months to pay him $120,000. And then he is killed. They're going to look at you, Diana. They're going to investigate you. If you do that, you better make sure you set the whole thing up perfect, because when the investigation is pointed on you, intense, investigation, you better not have screwed up, which isn't the case. So Diana, being the old radish that she is, decides, okay, I'm going to kill my husband. And this is the plan she came up with. I'm going to get a burner phone. Okay, I'm going to hire a hitman. I am going to have probably the hitman or have someone call Greg, her husband, on the burner phone and say, hey, Greg, that horrible divorce you're going through with your wife, Diana, I have some information that would help you in the divorce. If you want to meet in this really secluded, dark area, you can look at it and decide if you want to buy it. The proper way, if you ever find yourself in Gary's position where you get that call, you're in a horrible divorce, and that's what they say, here's how you should handle that. Go, all right, yeah, I'll see what you got, but let's meet in a public place. Let's meet, on Main Street. And if they say, no, we have to meet in the woods, but in that perfect murder spot. We can't meet, just go, all right, yeah, see you later, and hang up. Or say, all right, we'll meet. All right, that sounds good. And then have a recorder ready and call them back and say, you know what, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we could meet in a public spot, and then record their answer where they're lying and it's going to sound crazy, and then you could use that as the evidence in the divorce court. Like, look, I'm getting these crazy calls, this is coming from them, listen to this, they want me to meet in the murder forest for this. No, I'm not going to. But Greg made a very just stupid mistake and was like, yeah, I'll meet you in the secluded spot. He told a friend, which you gotta think any person in that situation, if they're going to go to some scary meeting, they're going to tell a friend. He actually brought a friend. The friend brought like a little half bat with him, I guess, for protection. It's like, what, are we going to like an old school like gang rumble? Like, you got a gun or a knife or something? What's with the bat? So he brings like a little half bat. Greg and the friend go out there. It's pitch dark. Let's go back a little bit. So the hitman she hired is a guy that she saw on a Dateline episode that in 2013 helped another lady that was in an abusive relationship. And they like interviewed him on Dateline. So I wonder if the hitman, his name's Weldon McDavid, I wonder if it gave Weldon some superhero complex where I'm going to, help these people or what. But he apparently was Diana's shooting instructor. He was a shooting instructor. Apparently he taught her how to shoot it all. Apparently him and Diana had sex one time. I couldn't help picturing, wonder if she does the rhyme thing, like during sex, she's like, that feels really good. If you want to do it harder, you should. And McDavid's like, what the fuck? What is she doing? But anyway, apparently they had sex one time, maybe just to get him, on board or whatever. But he's like, has this 2013 Dateline confidence, and so he, I'm sure, made the call, and then in one of the most bizarre choices to try to get something done like this, he takes 2 towels from Diana Lovejoy's house and brings them out. He brings them out to the scene, which the whole thing is, with the hitman and the person hiring the hitman, is don't have anything that connects them together and don't have anything that connects the crime scene to the person that hired the hitman, right? That is very important if you don't want to go to prison forever, right? And so I don't know why he thought, all right, yeah, I'm going to bring a half a set of your towels out to the crime scene with him. And so he goes out there and he brings a big rifle. And at some point when he gets out there, I guess he's feeling real nervous, and he takes a stress poop. And then I guess he's, made a mess of himself. Then he takes one of the towels that he brought from Diana's house, and he wipes with the towel, and then he throws the towel he like discards it just on the ground, and it's like, Weldon, you take a stress poop, which puts your DNA right there. You wipe with the towel from the client that hired you. It would be hard to figure out how to leave a piece of evidence worse than the poop towel. It has his DNA on it. It can be linked to her place because the other half of the set of the towels is still there. It links them together. So in one fell swoop, the poop towel really just gives them no chance. Meanwhile, Weldon, he probably pictured himself like Leon from The Professional, like professional, precise, deadly, disappears without a trace. Meanwhile, he's stress pooping and cleaning himself up with the towel, and it just is literally a full-blown shit show. And it's like, Weldon, if you take a stress poop and, you make a mess of yourself with the towel of the lady that hired you to kill her husband, you got to call off the hit. That's enough right there. Just, you didn't have a good night. You got to call it off. Try to do it some other time. But anyway, Greg and the friend with the bat get there. At that point, Weldon is laying down in the sniper position. It's dark, so Gary, the husband, is putting around like a bike light, and he shines it right on Weldon, who's laying down with the rifle, and they're like, shit, gun! And they run off. Weldon just starts shooting. He gets Greg, the husband, right in the side of the chest. And I guess it missed the heart by very little. They rush him to the hospital. And then, the investigation is off. So it's like, what? Where do the cops go? I think probably first they said, all right, well, let's look at the number that called him. And I'm sure they investigating that number, saw it was a burner phone, and then there's probably, they're in Southern California, a little bit, I think, south of San Diego, in a little, kind of rich community. There's probably not that many places to buy a burner phone. So I'm sure the first thing they did is, all right, here's a few places that you can buy a burner phone. Let's check out the camera. And sure enough, old Lovejoy, right before, puts herself on camera strolling into the store. No hat, no sunglasses. Really, for something like this, you should have the burner phone already. Have yourself a shoebox, couple burner phones, couple fake passports. You can't go and buy the burner phone right before the thing and put your big stupid face on camera like, hello. And she didn't, like I said, there's no hoodie, not even a hat or sunglasses. She just walked straight in. So that's the first way the law enforcement cracked it, is they traced the burner phone right to that camera footage, and there you go, Diana Lovejoy. And then just on a timing level of this plan, it's so bad because they're immediately going to say, wait, she's in this horrible divorce, and the judge said that she has 3 months to pay him $120,000. Well, there's motive, so it's like pretty obvious motive. So anyway, they bring Diana in for some interviews, which aren't up. I would love to watch them. The old radish herself trying to make it through. She immediately gives up the hitman. She goes, they go, your burner phone, it's the same number that you called is the one that you bought. So tell us what happened, Diana. And she immediately gives up the hitman and says, I was paying him to scare my husband, not kill him. Which really, since he was shot in the chest, she's throwing the hitman, which is never a good idea, under the bus. And at that point, she's extremely desperate. And she does a Hail Mary out of nowhere that Greg, the husband, sexually abused her and molested the kid. And as the trial ends up going, they do an investigation. They find nothing. No one seems to ever believe her. Even at the sentencing, she's crying and going, I was sexually abused, and I witness my son being molested once. And all the sex counselors and everybody, they did a full investigation on Greg, and they're like, no, he's just a nice guy. She's the weirdo. So they're interviewing Diana. It sounds like she caved instantly, and then so they bring in the hitman, which, again, this whole interrogation isn't up. I wish it was. But from the clips on True Crime Daily's website, or True Crime Daily's video of it, you can still get a pretty good temperature of how the interrogation went. And if True Crime Daily has the whole thing, like they put clips in their video of it, put out the whole thing. I mean, it sounds like Weldon McDavid, the hitman, walked into an absolute bloodbath of an interrogation, and I would love to see the whole thing. But just from the clips, you can tell going into the interrogation, the detectives had a really good hand. They had Diana, the wife of the guy that got shot, who's in this horrible divorce, saying she hired him for $1,000 to scare her husband. They have his DNA from when he took a stress poop at the scene. They got the DNA on the poop towel. The towel matches Diana, so that links them up. So they really got a nice little hand going in. I gotta grab a drink. Going into the interrogation. Weldon McDavid has nothing going into the interrogation, and he even picks one of the hardest strategies to go in with, which is, I don't know her, and I didn't even know anyone was shot. And at one point, it's almost like he thought it was going to be an interrogation in a movie. At one point, he goes, you're trying to accuse me of something. And it's like, yeah, yes, way to go, Weldon, way to keep up. So they don't go outright at the beginning. You got to hold your hand back. They don't go right out the beginning and say, Weldon, we got the stress poop DNA, we got the poop towel, it matches. But they put a photo in front of him. It looks like a bird's eye view of the spot, and they're asking him, would you have been in this area in the past week? And he's doing the Philip Markov thing where he's going, I don't know, I may have been. And they're like, well, were you? I mean, you would know, right? Were you there? He's going, I might have been there, I don't know. And think about it, the cops have this confident tone, and they're sitting back. They're not having to really guess about anything. They're just letting him go on and on and on and on and on. And then at the right moment, drop in the evidence and be like, start talking, man. You're sounding like an idiot. So he's going, I don't know, I might have been there. And then they narrow it down more to be like, okay, well, where were you the night this happened? Where were you that night? And he goes, oh, I was at home. And they're like, well, can you prove it? And he won't give them access to prove that he was home that night. And they're going, all right, so you're doing I don't know, I might have been there. At one point he goes, I don't know what there, I don't know what's there. And they're like, have you been there? So he's doing the Philip Markov, maybe I was in the hotel. I don't know, maybe I walked through. And then also he's going, the one thing that you could prove if you were home is your phone. So give us access to that, then we'll move past you. And he doesn't want to do that, and he's doing the movie, you're trying to accuse me of something. And then they slowly bring down the hammer by going, well, is there any reason you would have some DNA here? And they're pointing to the picture. And a lot of this is cut out, so I don't know exactly how it happened. But they're saying, we got DNA, bro, so you better start talking. And at a certain point, Weldon realizes, and he goes, oh, I think I know what you're talking about. And they're like, okay, all right, explain it. And he goes, I went for a run here. And they're like, okay, you went for a run. He goes, yeah, I was running along on the dirt road and I had to shit. But it's bleeped out on True Crime Daily's video, which kind of makes it funnier. He goes, I had to doot. And they're like, you had to doot? He's like, yeah, I had to. And they're like, well, that explains it. And then they go, well, did you wipe yourself with a towel? And at this point, Weldon knows it's over. The once confident, you're trying to accuse me of something tone of voice is taking a turn into the miserable, pathetic direction. And he's going, yeah. They're like, did you wipe yourself with the towel? And he's going, yeah. And they go, well, where'd you get it? Quick, where'd you get it? And he knows, the wheels are turning in his head going, I'm an idiot. Why would I bring a towel from Diana's place? It really makes no sense. They go, where'd you get it? And he goes, it was there. And the cop goes, really? Really? He goes, yeah, it was there. I saw it right there. And then that's the end of the clips that we get to see. But I would really love for that whole interrogation. It seems like he takes an absolute beatdown. The difference from the tone of his voice at the beginning to the end, where he's just shaking, going, yeah, the towel was there. And then, let me get this back. Never mind. The trial starts. They try them together. Doesn't sound like anyone, the jury or anyone at any point, believes Diana's desperate. He molested my son, and Diana was found guilty. She flopped around like a dead fish. She got 26 to life, and Weldon McDavid, the trigger guy, they were saying he really came off like a narcissist at the trial, and he got like 50-something to life. So just for a little bit of money, she lost everything. What a case. All right, that's it, people. Last thing, I really just want to give Ross Pretzels one more shout out. These are my absolute favorite. These are so addicting to me because I can eat one and you kind of go on the spicy food ride. It's like, woo, yeah. And then as soon as it goes away, it's like, well, only one direction to go at this point. I'm going back in, and it's truly addictive. They make their pretzels in small batches, so just give a little bit more time than a big company, but it's definitely worth it. They're so good. Look at these. Look at that. For me, the 3 out of 5 peppers is enough to get a little sweat going. Sit here at my desk going, woo! But go to their website, rosspretzels.com/TCL. Woo! Their hottest flavor, it's called Grimm's Challenge, actually comes in a coffin. Pretty funny. Really popular. This one's actually sold out at the time, but if you're really into spice, you want to take the ride, check back. They'll be available soon. One more, rosspretzels.com/TCL, 20% off, the code word Shmita. I love you all. See you soon. Why? Stop it. Why? Shmita.